Yeah, man, and I heard about you just probably like a year ago now or more. And I just liked your vibe, dog. Like, just when you was talking to people, I was just like, he seems like a fun, it seems like a fun dude who like knows how to have fun with other people.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's the kind of shit I'm looking for in this life, dog. It's too short to not just like seek that shit out.
Yeah. Good. Whenever you're ready, bro.
Something wrong with this here. There's no pretty songs to sing to cure anything. Just thoughts to kill days. 'Cause time is nothing anyway. And I'm alive, that may be true, but so are you, and we don't seem to care. And that's just fine by me, if it's alright with you. You should be in more than one place at a time. You should want everything. You should have the world in a line. There's something going on here, and I can't seem to tell where the hell it's going to drag me down. This is going so well, and I'm alive, that barely true, and even less for you. So pack your mouth with dirt. This is going to work. You have my word.
Hey.
You should be in more than one place at a time.
One place at a time.
You should want everything. You should have the world in a line.
Your smoker buddy, Melchor. Hey! Boom, boom, boom. Hey, yo, bro, your voice doesn't sound like how it was gonna sound.
I tell you, they think I'm gonna sound like the guy from Creed.
Yeah.
Like, we're long, or I'm just gonna start screaming. They're like, oh, he's gonna start playing and just start screaming or something? Is that what?
Got a little more sound. it's Harmon Warhol bringing another episode of the Harmon Warhol Show. And today I have a special guest. He is a poet. He is a person who's actually, is this your first project, like whole compilation project? I know you put
actually,
music,
yeah.
First
I mean,
project.
I put music out, but like, yeah, this is my first like kind of
musical project. And it's actually called Deadbeat, right? A tribute?
Well, that one came out a while ago. I got a book of poems coming out.
Okay, book of poems. Okay, that's what you want to promote. But Deadbeat.
But I did have Deadbeat, yeah.
Okay, for sure. I skimmed through that real quick. Because, mind you guys, this is someone I don't know, but we're going to get to know. And I'm going to hopefully say his name right for the first time right now. And his name is Melchor, my bad. I said Malfoy. Yeah. I said like fucking Harry Potter.
I've got Transformer names. I got Harry Potter.
Okay, hold up. Yeah, Malfoy. I said that shit. I said it so confident. Like, yeah, bro, we just went through this like 3 times. Malfoy. All right, so wait. Melchor, yeah. Wait, see, you see what I'm saying right there at the end? What you do right there?
Melchor. Yeah.
Melchor. Is that like a name you made up, or is that your born?
That's my name.
That's your born given name.
It's a Spanish name for one of the 3 wise men in the Bible.
Oh, real? So so say it again.
Melchor. Yep.
Melchor. I have a Melchor to do today.
Exactly. That's what I tell people. I say
piping down my wife.
I say.
I have a Melchor today, like building America. I have a Melchor today, like, I don't know, something misogynist. I don't know. But anyway, we got Melchor here today, a poet, and seems like a kind soul, and we're going to get to know him today. How you doing today, bro?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. It's a good day. The smoke outside in the air is filling my lungs with great vibes.
Oh, really?
Nah, it's pretty smoky outside.
Yeah, you think so? It is? Yeah. What, like from like fires or something?
I think there's more fires, yeah. So, but that's been chill. You know what I mean? But otherwise, yeah, it's a good day, man.
I feel like this year the fires were calm.
Oh, definitely. It wasn't as bad as like a couple years ago.
It is hot as fuck today. It's surprisingly.
It came out of nowhere.
In for October, yeah, because it was being cold for a little bit. But,
I got out my car right now. It's like,
yeah, bro.
It's nice in here though.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for coming. So I just wanted to let everybody know that Melchor came through. Hit me up saying that he wanted to promote some new things he's putting out, and that who are some of these people that said like, hey, if you want to get interviewed,
so I think
this is the dude to do it.
It was just like I seen a lot of people sharing your stuff.
Why wouldn't he do it?
I seen a lot of people sharing your stuff, and I seen that we had a bunch of mutuals, so I like watched it, and I was like, oh shit, he's got all kinds of people from around the area that like I know through various means and shit, and like I think at one point, I can't remember who the first person was, but then like as soon as somebody mentioned your name, I started like seeing you pop up on like all kind of people I knew. And I was like, okay, so he basically knows like the greater crowd. And I feel like it was cool to see somebody just like your enthusiasm for the shit was like was super intoxicating. I was like, okay, this dude seems like somebody that's fun to talk to. Like,
okay,
people seem like they have fun around you.
Yeah, it's because of me.
Take that credit, dog. Take that credit. Where it's due.
I refuse not to have fun when I don't want to be bored. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I found that as the older I get, I have fun no matter what I do. I could be skipping rocks. I'm gonna find the most fun into it or the most of it. So that is one skill to give myself credit. Yeah,
sure. Cultivating that is not easy in this world.
Yeah, for sure. But so anyway, so are you born in Stockton?
I am, yeah. Born and raised, Stockton, California.
Are your parents still together or no?
Nah.
No? Okay. Were they split up or?
Yeah, they've been split for like a long time.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, How many siblings you have?
I got a couple. I got my brother. He does stuff around town too. He's a photographer and a musician named Snap Jackson.
I know Snap Jackson is.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Yeah, so like he does shit too. And then I have a sister too and a couple other sisters.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Are you the youngest or?
I'm the middle child.
Okay.
Classic weirdo, yeah.
Yeah. My son's my dad. I don't get enough attention. I'm a firstborn, you know.
Okay, so you got all of it.
I'm the favorite, but not the favorite, you know what I mean? Because it's always gonna be the baby, but you know who you loved first, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I only have 2 kids. None of that other bullshit will happen. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you skip that. Then just let them fight. Then just let them fight it out all the time.
Yeah, no,
it's easy. Just pit them against each other.
So, where'd you go to high school at?
I went to Stag.
Stag. How was that?
It was something, man. I went to high school I started high school in believe it or not, 1998. I started high school in 1998. I graduated.
How old are you?
I'll be 40 at the end of the year.
Oh shit, bro! Yeah. Hey, bro, that's crazy because you do not look 40.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Tell me that all the time, dog.
Huh?
I tell people to just tell me that all the time. I'm like, anytime somebody tells me that, I'm like, you just tell me that all the time.
But do you okay? I've come across that too as well. But at the same time, it's like, do you think it's because of how we dress and our immaturity?
Partially.
Yeah. Like, this dude's nose ring. There's no way this is a grown ass man with this big ass nose ring.
Like, look at this.
Definitely has to be a kid who doesn't have his life together.
Like, look at this goofy ass smile. Look at this goofy ass smile. He can't be that fucking smiley over here at 40. He'd be too disillusioned by now.
So what's your real job? What do you do?
I work like retail jobs, man. Do whatever. I just like never
just hustle and get
just
together.
hustle, yeah, and then just kind of like do the shit I like to do, whatever facilitates me doing what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I've done various shit from working at a coffee shop to.
Bro, this is like the one time I get to be the young person on this podcast.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Usually I'm always like, it's always someone who's like 24, 21.
How old are you?
I'm 33. I just turned 33 last week.
No, happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks,
happy
bro.
Birthday.
Yeah, just last week. But yeah, so how long have you been doing poetry?
Shit, like since I was writing bad poems for people in middle school. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's when it started. Like I got into poetry through rap. Like through rap music, just like
so. So usually it's always poet becomes rapper. Was that the same for you, or were you like more of like a rapper turned poet? Or
I think I started more into rap. Yeah, like coming up, you know, like I was born in '83, so like as a young kid.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to do the
in
Kevin
the 1900s.
Hart. I'm trying to do the Kevin Hart.
Damn.
To the Don Cheadle.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, in the 1900s.
I was born in 1983. Damn.
Sounds like a whole fucking lifetime ago. It is.
Oh man.
Yeah. So rap was just like the predominant shit, you know, like, and then going into the 90s was just like if you were a kid in the 90s. You were listening to rap, like if you weren't, you were just fucking some weird square or something. But like everybody was listening to rap. I grew up in Southside Stockton, so it was like rap was like what we listened to.
Yeah.
And so I was like hella into rap, and then I think I found poetry through rap, and like my brother and other rappers who I met, like
Snap Jackson.
Yeah, he showed me rap when I was a little kid, you know, and then like meeting rappers who wrote poems, and then
that's a nigga who looks his age.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm just kidding. He looks good and everything, but you're like, oh, that's an older nigga. Like,
he's an adult.
Yeah, he's an adult. The way he carries himself. Yeah. Like, well,
I carry myself not like
bro. So that's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to make. I'm making fun of you, but I'm also like relating to you. Yeah. Like, you get what I'm saying, like, bro? Because people were like, oh, you're like. I'm like, I know I'm not young unless I shave. When I shave my beard, like I actually look like. And I would say like you look young too because maybe whenever I shave my thing, like bro, people like really think like I'm a child because I dress like a kid. I act like a kid. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's just like I get that. But I'm a 33-year-old man considered to some people. But I don't have kids as well. Yeah. I have not many responsibilities. So, I mean, if you really want to make an argument, you could say, like, oh, I'm not an adult. I'm not a man. I'm not whatever you want. The thing is, I don't take that shit to heart. I know what I am. But to other people, I look outside. I can understand how you could think that way.
Yeah. Same with me.
So you agree with
that?
I
don't have kids. I'm like,
and I just know I can whoop up most people's ass.
So you don't worry about what they're like, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm a bitch, bro. Whatever. Yeah, let me just
it was like I wish I took jujitsu for that, so I could just know like.
Fuck that, nigga! You gotta fucking starts on the fucking starts on the feet, bro.
Oh, man.
Fuck your ground jujitsu. No, I was kidding. I did jujitsu twice, and I was just like. Bro, I don't like all this sweat on me, man. Like, this shit. I just fucking, this big old dude fucking got on top of me and I fucking sucked his shirt in of sweat all in my mouth. And I was just like,
Got some actual drops.
I don't even want to do this anymore.
That sounds like it would make me decide.
I'm just gonna punch people in the face, bro. Yeah. Fuck that.
I've always been smaller than people, so my thing was like, I would just like in my head, if I thought I was about to get in a fight, I'd be like, about to kick somebody in the knee. I just kick somebody in the knee.
I'll drop kick someone.
Because I was small. I was.
You don't want to kick someone in the knee. You want to drop kick. You want to bend their knee backward.
Just hyperextend.
Hyperextend. If you kick someone in the knee, you're gonna shatter your foot.
It's like, you better backfire, then you're on the ground.
Yeah. But
just kick them with the tip.
What was I asking, bro? Yeah. So how long have you been gay? No,
for most of my life. For most all of my life.
Is that a big part of your identity, or is that just something you so happen to be?
It's a pretty big part, it's one that I like to. Ever since like I was a kid in the '90s too, like using it as a way to like subvert people's expectations and like make weird uptight people feel uncomfortable and shit. Like me and my friends would like hold hands and shit to like make people, and they'd be like, oh, because it was the '90s and it was like.
Yeah. What do you mean it was the 90s?
Gay jokes was just like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
like,
so let's say you were 7 by 90.
90, right? And then in the later 90s.
Let's just say 10 years, you were 17 right at 2000. So yeah, so around high school. So
I was like 14, 15
yeah,
when I was like starting, high school.
Okay, yeah. Tupac was out and shit.
Dude, I was just telling some kid, because she had a Tupac shirt on, and I was like, I remember where I was when Tupac died.
I was too young.
Yeah, I was like, it was 96, and I was like 12, and I remember like coming home and like seeing the news and being like, oh shit, because he had got shot, and we were all tripping at school like, dude, Tupac got shot, that's fucking crazy, dog. Like, oh, is he gonna? And then like he died a little bit later.
Right around the time I figured out who it was, around 5-6 years old, I was like, that's right when he died.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of always knew him kind of already dead.
Yep.
Like I knew probably just
that's
like that 6 months of him on death row. I'm like, oh, this is just coming out. This is tight. And then I'm like, he's dead. And I'm like, okay.
And that's crazy just how a few years separates the like.
Yeah, I just was like, it was kind of like that. He was always been dead. And then like Biggie died like a year later. And then that's when I kind of figured like, okay, because I knew Biggie wasn't dead. You know what I mean?
You're like, oh.
And then when Biggie died, then it made more like, I was able to kind of like, okay, of like my timeline.
Connect
like,
the dots.
Yeah, because I didn't hear like I Get Around. I heard fucking Hit 'Em Up first.
Yeah.
Like,
that was so many people's introduction to Tupac. I feel like too, like where they were just like, "Did you hear this crazy ass diss song?" Like, it's
so you've been gay, like, so you knew you were gay
since
like,
Tupac.
That's a good one. Hey, that's a good. For real?
I mean, I always thought Tupac was super cute. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he is.
I mean, he's a handsome ass dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Tupac.
Grand Nubian. So like, how did you like? Did you just always were like accepted of that? Your parents and your family were like, were you something? Was that what you was like try to fight against or push down? Or
I think like you were saying, like I've always kind of known who I was and I've been cool with it. Mm-hmm. Like so, I never even made a big deal of like. It was just like I knew who I was. I wasn't worried about what my family would think. Or You know, other than my mom, you know, maybe like I'm not really tripping on what my extended family thinks of this shit. I was always the weird one in the family anyway. So ever since I was a fucking.
When you told them, they're like, of course.
Yeah. So most of it, and like, you know, I don't even talk to a lot of them to be like, hey, let me tell you this about myself. You know, I'm just like, they'll find out. Like, they'll figure it out. Or they'll see
I think they already know, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So, or they already know, whatever. So it's like, it was just never something I tripped about in, like, within myself or anything.
Okay, for sure. So I was just wondering that if that's, like, a thing later on in your life or, like, something at the beginning. So, like, I'm just saying, so some of the poems and stuff that you started with, or the rapping and stuff, like, it was, like, did it ever have anything to deal with that? Because I've only heard some of your stuff so far, and nothing really focused too much on, like, being gay.
No, I think the focus...
And I'm not saying... And again, the only reason I'm saying this is just because on right now on your profile, you're pan... Yes. You're polyamorous. You're a lot of different things. I'm just saying that's the thing probably when you're younger where it's like it's only black and white. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, luckily, I think I grew up with like a good understanding, man. Like, and then I lucked out in high school. Like, I got to give like mad credit to like my punk rock friends. Yeah. Like, I had hella punk rock friends, and they were like some of the most progressive people.
You're like, bro, you're gay. I'm gay too, bro.
Well, also just like and just their ideas of like radical like liberation, like just like liberating yourself from your hangups and shit, and like not worrying about the shit, you know, like as long as you ain't hurt nobody, what are you worried about? What you are, you know what I mean? And my punk rock friends were about that shit, so it was like that's where starting in high school, I really learned to like embrace the like alternate, you know, what was then still known as like alternative kind of like lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always a skateboarder, so there was this like conflict of like the hyper masculinity of skateboarding versus. And
they say fucking gay and fag all the time.
Hard.
Like the only reason I say that word to say because I'm like I was kind of into that, but then I know even the skater community like that was the thing. Like that was everything was gay and everybody's a fag. But
like I think in recent years there's been like a shift there, and like even one of my favorite skaters from back in the day, Brian Anderson, he skated for Toy Machine like back in the 90s. Okay, he's now publicly out and has just always been gay, but was like worried back then, you know, like that people might affect. It might affect how people viewed him. And the dude
gonna try to buy no more boards.
Yeah, and the dude who ran Toy Machine, his name's Ed Templeton. He's like a photographer and shit too. They had Alyssa Steamer on there, who was the first like pro woman skater. And he Brian Anderson told this story about how Ed Templeton was like, dude, come out, bro. Like I'll have the first woman skater, the first gay skater. Like we'll be like. We'll do this shit. Like he was like, and it was cool that he was behind me, you know. Like he's like, but I just felt like, nah, that's like a little too much for me. He was like, I'm a low key dude. Like I'm gonna keep it that way. But I felt like it was funny because that subverted a lot of people's expectations. Like when he started being publicly out, a lot of people were like taken aback by that shit. Like a lot of skateboarders.
That's
like,
always the best because if you're one of the best and you're gay, they're like, well, damn, I'm gay because I
and he's tall. He dresses, you know, he dressed in hella baggy clothes like we all did, and you know, so like he had the super hyper skateboarder image. So it was and I thought that was cool though. Finding out that he was publicly, I was like, oh, sick, that's tight. Like I always like dug just him as a person. He always seemed like down to earth.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
I feel like I never struggled with that shit, man. Like I've always liked to be like, it always was a source of pride to be like different. Like I found, you know, I got made fun of and shit, obviously. But who doesn't? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, people always know it's funny to me.
They'll find a way to make fun of anybody for anything, dude.
Yeah, bro. No, it's like the funniest thing to me is everyone, like you see how I'm talking to you and everything and how I'm able to carry myself. Every time people are like, you as a kid, like were socially awkward and not self-confident, and I'm like, how the fuck did you think I got here? Like, so it's just like that's how you build yourself, you know. And that navigating through those difficulties, I think, like proves beneficial at some point. Like I got, you know, as a performer, I think like I was a socially awkward kid and like didn't really know how to best navigate interactions and shit. But like by being a performer, it constantly put me in situations where I had to do that. Did you play sports as a kid or anything besides skateboard?
Nah. I think when I was a little kid, I tried like baseball. You know what I mean? Baseball, but I never really got with the team vibe. Like I think I found skateboarding and I was like, oh, cool. This is something you do
Was that a thing that helped you? Like, do you believe in like competition? Like, even if you're not competing against other people, or you at least like competing against yourself in that respect? Yeah, and I think even like friendly competition with other people. Like I feel like I always got better at skating when I skated with my friends who were better than me. You know, like I just heard that on somebody like Quentin Tarantino. He just said like, yeah, just because like you raise people that you're better than and you beat them every time, that's bad. If you actually race people and they're faster than you, that's actually better because your time's gonna be faster.
Yep,
you're gonna. You know what I mean? Because you're just gonna because you're always going against the best. So the same thing. I can see what you're saying.
It's like that. The iron sharpens iron kind of deal. Like, I think a healthy level of competition, and I think like I also came up heavily with slam poetry. Oh yeah. Like which like a lot of people have mixed feelings about. Which is understandable. It's a strange kind of concept.
Explain slam poetry.
So it's just like competitive poetry. So you get up, they pick 5 people in the audience to judge you 1 through 10 with decimals. You can get 5.6, 2.1 or whatever. They pick 5 people. You perform a poem. Those 5 people judge you. They drop the highest and the lowest. They average the middle 3. Everybody goes once. They look at everybody's scores. usually it's an elimination type deal, so they eliminate half.
And then you can just do poetry about anything.
You do poetry about anything, no props. You can't have props. You can't unless it's a theme thing. You can't be in costume and shit.
Where have you done this?
Oh, all over. They have them from everywhere, from the Bay to Sacramento's got one, San Jose's got one, Fresno.
So you've competed in these slam poetry
things?
things?
Yeah. I've been doing slam since fucking, I guess 2000 or 2001 was the first time I did a slam. Yeah, some of the first times I competed in slams were at Berkeley, the Berkeley Slam, which still happens in the same place it's been happening since then.
Yeah, all right,
since the early 2000s.
Okay, for sure. So, have you won a bunch or how?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I've never actually won a single one. I've gotten second before.
Yeah.
Several times.
How many people competed? 2? Oh,
yeah.
That was good.
Yep, just me.
Yeah, I still got second.
The judges were me.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, you can't get first. Yeah, so I've never actually won one, dude. It's been funny too. And I've competed to get on teams to go to nationals.
Oh, really?
They used to have a national competition, and I've competed and almost gotten on, but I still think like you were talking about what Tarantino said, always going against people who are better, or even if they're not better, they're scoring better, which means they're doing something for the crowd better. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's all a learning experience.
I like how you did that. Even if they're not better, because I was better than them, but they scored better than them.
It happens. It happens.
I think you're right on that, but I feel like I'm that guy in your maybe in your thing in that time where I'm not as good, because I know I'm not as better lyrically than a lot of rappers and stuff. But I know that I'm very theatrical. I'm very. But
it's equal. It's equally.
It's part
about
of the points, bro.
And that's what I mean. Yeah, and that's why slam is good, because it's always also hella helped me as a performer, because I'm more inclined to be low key or downplayed.
Yeah.
Doing slam has helped me kind of always keep that in mind. Remember that part of performing is also the performance. It's not just what you're performing; it's how you're performing it. So leaning into, like you said, the theatrics are being over the top, or taking your normal persona, but to turning it up a couple levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit helps.
My bad. I'm just thinking of a rhyme. Right?
Thinking about rhyming, kick a beat, dog. Should I kick a beat?
Oh, I was just gonna rap your name with therefore, but then I'm like, what would you even say therefore for? And it makes sense in this day and age, and not be corny and not be medieval times.
Well, it's definitely not a colloquialism anymore.
Yeah, see, you already fucking me up with words and shit. Nah. Well, because the one thing I wanted to say is, because one thing I always give big ups to poetry. You know what I mean? Def Comedy, Def Poetry Slam.
Oh yeah,
we watched that.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah,
that's some of the shit that got me into slam poetry.
Some of the best thing that ever got me into rapping and putting words together.
Most Def was on there. Saul Williams was on there.
Yeah, for sure. And the only thing is, though, because there's, as much as I give credit to that, there are also those things of poetry that is super cliche. Yeah. And there's a tone.
Yeah.
And you can kind of just make anything up home. Yeah. As long as I'm just not even trying to be alone. And as they see and do, but they cannot see. But my third eye, I always be soliloquy. I'm a OG.
Yeah.
As cold as ice cubes. I'm not a nice dude, but I got a grin. I'm sorry to offend, but it is my time once again. With a pen. Isn't that kind of I got.
You know what's funny though is people. You would think that because it's such an understood kind of trope, that approach, that it wouldn't happen very often in slam anymore. It happens so much. And that's my goal is to not do that. When I go to slams, I'm okay, I can't do that. So I think again, it presents a good challenge, because a lot of times people that do that shit score really well, man.
Yeah.
Because people, because people like what they expect. You know, they like hearing what they expect to hear. So if they go to a poetry slam and they hear something like what they thought they were gonna hear, that's gonna boom. It's gonna hit. If they hear something hella unlike what they expected, it's gonna take them a minute to process. Whatever. If your style's a little different, you know. So that's how that became like a thing. But like I always liked finding the poets who did slam who were markedly like different than that. Like who I thought like, oh, they're being intentional. They're not doing that. Like.
But like, I mean, as much as I feel like even rapping's acting, because you know people there's were actors, the rappers are actors. People say whatever. Right? But in poetry, there's definitely more of like a theatrical thing. You know what I mean? Because like you can just put sunglasses on and rap your lyrics and be a rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're doing poetry, I have to actually, even if you got a bar, I gotta still hear the pain in your voice or like of how you're trying to come across to me with your bar. You know what I mean?
Especially when there's no music.
There's no music. You're creating your own melody in a different way, and you don't want it to be so much. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes because if you're only over rhyming in poetry, sometimes you're just like, hey, like, what are we? You know what I mean? You kind of want to have some space. I don't know. That's just my personal thing.
I'd agree 100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then something
being just like A B A B A.
Yeah, and then it's just like
it's corny.
Put it to the Migos beat. But
or put in a Dr. Seuss book. That's a kid's book.
It just, you know, but where was I going with it, bro? I forgot. I started thinking of fucking Migos.
I put it to a Migos beat.
I just started thinking of the beat.
That's hella funny.
Them niggas are real poets though too, bro. But I'm trying to think, but I'm just saying like is that something that you like? That's the one thing with me, which is about being like a rapper that I chose more to lean into that. Oh, an actor. So that's what I'm saying. The acting portion. You know what I mean? Because like I think I'm kind of good at that.
Yeah, I mean,
to get up and real like,
to be.
Like you know what I mean? Like I could really like lean into it and act like, oh, I'm really sad and like you know I fucking went through some horrible trauma shit right now and make you feel this poem about rape. I don't know. I'm saying.
I'd be a tough one. Yeah. If you could sell that, I'd make a commercial for you.
And her areola shoved down my throat. I felt every strand of her pubes. Spaghetti swallowed. My innocence borrowed. Oh damn, man! I'm fucking got, bro. Hey, bro.
Giving yourself some snaps on this.
Yeah, no. I'm so sorry. So you've been doing poetry for super long. Were you always like throwing like records and like raps on records, or you just started?
Yeah, I mean, I've been. I think the first shit I recorded, I was like still a teenager with a homie. He goes by Icarus Jones.
Man, why do I know Icarus Jones?
He's like still performs every once in a while. He's still around. He's like been rapping for hell long.
Did you used to have a rap name?
I went by Statement for a while, and now I put my rap shit as Moniker.
Okay.
But like
Icarus Jones.
He had like a couple albums in the early 2000s.
I know who the fuck Icarus Jones is, but I don't know who Icarus Jones is right now.
He'll perform sometimes like with a whole band and shit in Stockton and shit. He knows like a lot of the greater music people and shit.
Why do I know Icarus Jones though? That sounds super old school for me. Back in high school.
I mean, it would have been, yeah. If you're 33 and I'm 39, you know what I mean? Like when I was on his first album, I think I was maybe 19.
You were on his first album?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
That's like some of my earliest rap shit. Yeah, I listen to it now and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah,
it's not too, you know, it's not crazy terrible, but I'm like, yeah.
Some of that shit is so like cringy and just and then like.
Luckily, I never said nothing crazy. Like I was like, luckily I don't go back and listen to my old shit and be like, ooh. Wish I wouldn't have said that. It's more just like corny or I fucking like the way I said it. I was like, ugh, that was.
No, my shit was fire, but it was super offensive. No, I was kidding. Yeah, I was kidding. It was both.
You're like, yeah, Oh, yeah.
No, it sucked and it was offensive. No, yeah. No, some of it was, it just was like how you said, it was just like lame or wasn't like my best work. But yeah. But some of it, you look back and you're like, nigga, I'm that nigga, bro.
I do like to look back on old stuff and be like, I think one thing I've learned to appreciate about old shit is like seeing the ambition. You know, like I'll listen to some of my old shit, like because that Deadbeat album is from 2011.
Oh, okay.
So that's 12 years old.
Deadbeat?
Yeah.
On your Bandcamp?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Put that 12 years ago, man. So like, but I still like look back on it and I'm like, this was like, I see where I was going, you know.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I was like, man, because like, it seemed like you're trying to do like an experimental thing, and I'm like,
and 12 years ago, that was
yeah.
That was definitely the thing.
Yeah. Now, man, bro. Wow.
Yeah, nah.
Makes way more sense. Because I didn't know, because that's the only thing that's out on your page right now, really.
Yeah, and I have some acoustic shit. I think the newest one is like some acoustic songs that I put on. That I put on there.
Well, I was looking for the rap shit.
Oh, it's because the most recent rap thing I did was with a friend of mine, so we have a different Bandcamp for it.
Okay.
I need to figure out how to like link them to, or if there's a way to do that.
Yeah,
and that's from 2019.
Okay.
I think I meant to send you a link, Doug.
Yeah.
I just be like forgetting.
Well, I did look at a post of you saying how you're always late to everything, just how you were late today. So I don't expect much from you, bro.
That's like lower your expectations. There was that skit, Lowered Expectations. I think it was on one of the sketch shows back when I was a kid. Lowered Expectations. Yeah, and then it'd be like hella bad dating, bro. Like people trying to big themselves up for a date and they're just bad. Yeah. I can't remember if it was not in Living Color, maybe Saturday Night Live or
I don't know. Maybe Mad TV.
Maybe Mad TV. I think that sounds about right. I think it might have been Mad TV.
Yeah, who knows? But but
that's me. Lower your.
So what it's like some of the, because you've been doing just what, like poetry like shows yourself?
A lot of times I've been doing poetry a lot for the last few years. Like I did the last album with my friend we go by Stilt Lives, and so it's just stiltlives.bandcamp.com. But we did a EP in 2019, and then I post like the works in progress of shit because we're working on a new album for the beginning of next year.
Okay, so this is like a duo thing that's going to be reoccurring.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, so we first it started. He hit me up like, "Hey, I'm doing he's an electronic producer, so he's like, "Hey, I'm doing an album. I got some stuff that sounds like it might be cool for rapping over it. Like, do you want to check it out?" So he sent me a couple things. I was like, "Yo, these are tight," and I just wrote songs to them, and I was like, "Here," and he got back to me like, "Hey, these are fucking tight. Would you rather just do a whole little project together? I'd rather have these on something like, let's just do something." And it worked out cool. So like we're working on a second one, and I put I like to put my works in progress on my Instagram and shit to just show that like it's all a constant, you know what I mean? Like it's a constant thing. Like there's work going into the shit, like whether I'm having shit coming out all the time or not. Like I do like make stuff.
What kind of sound? So you said electronic. Like what kind of electronic sound?
He's kind of like a lo-fi electronic stuff, but the stuff he gives me is usually stuff that ends up having that kind of like hip hop backbeat, like still having that like kind of feel, that like straightforward feel.
Is that like an artist or thing you can reference?
I mean, he's definitely influenced by like shit. I don't know. But it's like there's kind of an ambientness to it too. It's not like super involved.
Percussion.
It's not super percussion heavy. It's like a lot of ambient sounds. So it's a cool kind of experiment to like write to somebody's shit who doesn't like, because my style of beat making is definitely different. Like
so you make beats yourself?
Yeah, the Deadbeat stuff is all stuff I made. And that stuff, even though it's like kind of experimental electronic and shit, like it definitely, I go with the like, you know, the hip hop, the rhythms. Like I'm heavy on the like hip hop rhythms. But his stuff's a little different, little looser on that shit. So it was like kind of cool to see what it's like writing to somebody who makes shit like so different than me. Like I feel like that's another instance of somebody sharpening you, like even when it's not about who's better, it's just about somebody who's different and gives you a different perspective. Like, oh, if I'm gonna write to this as a rapper, especially, like you get beats from different people, you want to complement the beat. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just like bring your same shit on everybody's beat, even if it is gonna sound there. You know, you can't bring the same shit on a Dilla beat that you would bring on a fucking Migos beat or something, you know?
I don't know. See, that's the thing as I grow older. So that's what I was going to actually ask you here is, do you ever think about, there's someone super in mind, dude. I actually sent him a DM and he never responded to me, and he'll probably never hear this, but I'll say this. There's a person who asked to do my podcast, and I never said no, but I never said yes. And
left them on red.
No, I didn't leave them on red. I responded. Okay. I just never said yes. I never said no. They ended up making their own podcast, right? Okay. And a lot of times it's funny because they're like a person that I see, like other people, who always complain. Whenever I hear artists complain about, they're not listening to me. I'm super real. I'm putting out the effort and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, obviously, you're not looking at all the people out on Instagram who are far more talented than you and work far more harder than you. You get what I'm saying?
There's a lot.
I put myself in check all the time, bro. Yeah. I just put out a music video the other day. I'm happy with 200 views. And well, why not? It's not 1 million. Because look at some of these people who are out there fucking grinding and they fucking sound like fucking Adele and they still only got 12,000 views, bro. Okay?
It's a flooded market.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, suck my dick when I hear these other rappers. Bro, I'm really real. You're not doing anything different than anybody else. Yeah. So calm the fuck down, bro. So I get really mad at that shit with people because I'm just like, dude, like, there's literally people flying in an alien ship and still not even breaking 100,000 views. So what do you expect for you to do?
Yeah. And I've never had, like, illusions of numbers, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's never been my motivating force.
Yeah, you just got to do it.
It's some shit that I do. Like, I like doing it. And more than anything, I like that it fucking links me up with people. Like, I perform, I meet other people.
Polyamory.
Widens the dating pool. Widens the dating pool for sure. But just like in that same sense though, like it expands my circle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think like when we're all young and we're starting to play music and shit, I think there was definitely that like, oh, we're trying to get signed, you know, like I was in bands in the fucking, you know, in my teens and early 20s, and I was like, oh, let's, you know, we're playing hella shows.
How long have you been playing instruments?
Oh, like my whole life, yeah. Okay, my family all, like my dad's family, him and his siblings all play music. My grandpa played music. So me and all my cousins had to play music when we were kids.
Okay, cool. So this has always been in you, and then you're just trying to do your own thing with it then, I guess.
Yeah, I just kind of always have been doing my own thing. Just like, I'm not, like you were saying, like some people are like, oh, they ain't listening to me. I know people ain't listening to me because I'm not grinding. You know what I mean? I never had any like illusions that that was something I could do or wanted to do. I'm happy with what I'm able to do.
Yeah.
And so in recent years, though, I've been like, I think as I've approached 40, honestly, it's kind of like a retrospective thing where I'm like, maybe I just like lean back into this a little heavier. Like I used to do this shit all like through my 20s.
That's all you did.
It was all I did, perform all the time. Into my 30s, I still performed a lot, and like only since COVID, honestly, like has that scaled back, and since things have somewhat returned to whatever they're gonna be, I just haven't gotten back into like performing as much or doing anything. So this last like year or so, I was like, you know, like I'm gonna just get out there a little more and see what I can do. Like I forget sometimes that I just like doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just.
Well, how did you do at the River open mic? How'd that go?
Oh, that was chill. Yeah. I featured there in like 2018 or 19. Yeah. Before the pandemic, and it was super fucking cool.
Okay. And so but you did it recently, right?
And I did it recently. Yeah. They had me come back, and I did like I did last time. I don't usually get a feature. Like usually when they ask me to feature at a poetry event, it's just poetry. Yeah. When I'm playing a music gig, it's like other bands are playing, so it's music. Yeah. But the River is like an open mic for whatever. Yeah. So the first time I played 2 songs on guitar and I sang. I did 2 poems and then I rapped 2 songs. Yeah. And it's the only time I've ever got to do that was at the River, and it was pretty fun. Just being able to like be like, this is all the shit I do. Like, and not just be like, oh, this is some of the shit I do. Like,
definitely.
I feel like it gives a fuller picture.
I think you definitely got to bring the guitar, and then people will take you serious.
Yeah. When they see the guitar, they're like, oh, he's gonna.
Oh, like if he halfway played decent, people were like, oh, he's like.
And you know what's funny? I love that because I sing too, and I feel like people don't expect that, and so they'll come up to me and they'll be like, oh, I didn't expect you to sound like that. And I know it's a compliment, but in my head, I'm always hella laughing at the things they could have expected me to sound like. Did they expect me to sound like the dude from Creed or some shit? Like,
I thought you were gonna come up and sound like, "Hey guys, hey." That's why when I look at you, I'm like, "Yo, this dude's probably just like halfway a mute, does drugs, and he's just like, hey, yeah, guys, hey,
living on the streets."
And then I see you do poetry, I'm like, "Oh damn, this nigga knows words. That's crazy, bro."
When I
mean, just to be
no, for real. And when I worked with Tama Brisbane, the poet laureate of Stockton, the first poet laureate of Stockton. The Homegirl Jazz is the new poet laureate. Mm-hmm. I coached the youth slam team, and that was like an interesting thing too, to like talk to younger poets who like. And kind of press on them that like you didn't have to look, you know what I mean? Like, because I definitely don't look like some of the shit I'm into. Like when I say I skateboard, people are like, "Oh, for sure."
Yeah, yeah, like, no, that's okay. Yeah,
that tracks.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I worked at Rasputin for a couple years in Stockton, and people would come up to me and be like, "Hey, bro, like, what's new in metal?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "I don't know, dog.
Yeah.
I don't listen to metal."
But your nose.
And I'd be like, "It's just a nose ring, dog."
Yeah.
I just got a nose ring, dog.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
And they're like your nails, and you're like, I'm gay, bro.
I'm just gay, bro. Not all gay people like metal.
Yeah, like that. I'm just saying, like the things they can point out, like what made them think.
Yeah,
But, I'm not trying to be punk rock, bro. I'm just gay.
I'm just gay.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I had to say that all the time. Look, so dude, funny. I don't listen to Ozzy Osbourne, bro. I'm just gay and like black.
that phrase goes more than two ways.
Yeah. It does. It's good to leave stuff open-ended.
Oh, man.
Open-ended.
Oh, that sounds like you. But anyway. Oh, man. That's so funny. But, man, bro. So, what is like, so you said you got a book of poems?
Yup. I got a book of poetry coming out, and I've never...
Is it published, or is it
Yeah, it's published by Tullyberg Press. They're a Stockton publisher. Putting out a collection of my poems called Sorry I'm Late, which is a fitting title, as you can attest to.
Yeah, almost 30 minutes late today. I'm just kidding.
I'm one of those people who thinks like
I pushed it back an hour, bro.
Yeah.
It really wasn't even like I just don't want to rush getting. I got back from the Bay.
I seen that you was in First Fridays.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to rush. And
that's what I figured. I
had like 30 minutes, but I was like, I'm just gonna lay here for a little bit to rest. And then I was like, cool, because I was like gonna tell you like, oh, I'm ready and cool, but I was like, fuck it, let's take this little hour.
It made sense because I was like, I seen you were at First Fridays. I was like, okay, they probably got back late.
So. It was just a lot, yeah.
And I'm one of those people who think like everything takes way less time than it was called like time blindness. I'll be like, oh yeah, that'll take me 10 minutes. Yeah. And then I'll do it and it'll have taken me like 18 minutes.
Oh, really?
Because I'm just like, my brain's like, no, that's 10 minutes. I've grown up in Stockton and lived in Stockton so much of my life, and I will still think I can get anywhere in town in 10 minutes.
Really?
And that's just not the case. Like,
I believe in human error.
Yeah, that's human error. It's the epitome of human error. I'd be like, yeah, I can get there in 10 minutes. Then I get there 16 minutes later, and I'm like, fuck, that was not 10 minutes. Goddamn.
Yeah.
But like, as much as I try to fight that ADHD in my brain, it's like, nah.
10 minutes.
We got this. You're going to be late all the time.
Damn. That's weird.
But it's maybe medication would help. I feel like maybe if I was medicated, but I'm not.
Or more disciplined. But anyway.
That too. And I'm not that either.
I'm just kidding. But anyway, so these poems, bro. These poems. You got them published.
Yep.
How many of them? Is it a book?
It's like 40 something.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's like a whole fucking book with a spine and shit.
That's making you trip out, is the spine.
I'm like, damn, that's like I got enough pages that have a spine? That's wild.
Damn, what kind of glue they use?
Can I huff it? Is it? Oh, it's already dry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like 40 something poems. It's like a lot of poems, and it took a fucking it was a lot of work to like go through all of my poems and be like, which ones do I want to like, because like you said, this is my first like collection of writing for people to look at and like judge and critique and shit. That's a weird,
putting yourself out there.
That's a weird feeling. Like I feel like I've been a performer for I've been performing for 25 years.
Now you really gotta hold on to, you gotta stand on them words.
Yeah. And like performing for 25 years, that became so much of what I was after, though. That kind of like moment between performer and audience, like that's something that's super fucking singular and unique, like to my life experience. Like I don't know anything else that feels like getting up in front of a bunch of people you don't know and fucking performing whatever it is, whether it's fucking singing or comedy or a play or a fucking soliloquy, whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's a singular feeling. And I've been chasing that shit since I was like a teenager. Like I found it as a teenager and I was like, oh shit, like this is exciting. Like it's terrifying. It's fun. Like
gets my dick hard.
It's rock hard.
Yeah.
And just but just that combination of fun and terrifying, I think that's where like excitement is, you know what I mean, when something's fun and scary. Like, so it's like roller coasters. Like that kind of shit, like skydiving or whatever the fuck people.
Have you been skydiving?
No, but I want to go hella bad. It looks crazy as fuck.
I've done it once.
I feel like were you just screaming the whole time?
Not really.
I always wonder, is everybody just like freaking out? Like you're like, ah.
No, well, for me, it's like, okay, whatever, because it's a tandem. So it's always tandem. You'd have to do like 50 jumps or whatever to be able to go by yourself.
Yep.
So anyway, when you get there, it's kind of, you start seeing how kind of sketch this could be. Because you realize, like, yo, this isn't, like, the most, like, professional thing. You look at the plane, you're like, this isn't, like, the newest plane in the world. You're like, the people jumping and doing it are, like, foreign people, like, who aren't even from here. They're just doing this because this is the best place to be able to do this the most times in a day because they're just trying to get certified so they can go jump in a squirrel suit. And so you're just like, this is just whatever to them. They don't, you know what I mean? And then when you're about to jump off the plane, that's the one thing I'm like, I could never probably do that by myself. I was like, I literally, once we got up there, I literally felt my legs. I'm like, I don't want to move my legs, but he's right behind me. So I'm like, all right, so that helped me. Once we jumped, I was so shocked on how I wasn't scared at all.
It just goes away.
Right when you get out the plane, it's like a roller coaster. Like, you're just like, this is dope as fuck.
Yeah.
This don't even seem real.
It just takes over like the
don't even seem real. Right when you do the parachute though, and everything slows down, it is the scariest thing in the world. You're like, yo, nigga, just gravity, the wind is hanging us up here, nigga.
Uh-oh. Like, how high?
What? Yeah, you're like, bro, can we just keep falling to our death? Because I'd rather just... At least I know this is it.
Yeah,
I'm floating up here, swaying back. But nigga, did you feel that breeze, nigga? I felt that breeze.
Taking us into that tree.
That nigga was laughing at me because he could let me have the reins, and he saw that I started panicking a little bit because I was just like, nigga, like, bro, this is just guided wind and energy. Like,
that's crazy. See, I didn't think about that, how that would be scarier than the actual falling, but it makes sense because in the falling, you're like, well, I'm falling.
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing I could do.
Nothing I could do. And that's how I think about just when I get on a plane, because flying in general scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But like, once we get up in the air, I'm just like, well,
it's what we gotta do.
It's not up to me. It's this motherfucker. It's this fool in the cockpit now. Yeah. It's on you, dog. Like, you're gonna get us there? I don't know. I'm just gonna let it go. So I can see how that, like, it parallels that. Like, when you jump out, you're just like, well,
it's
not up to me.
Now,
not up to me.
Yeah.
But then once you hit the parachute, everything slows down enough to where you can start being like, wait, could something go wrong? Could something go wrong? Like,
yeah. You start thinking, like I said, human error.
You start seeing all the possible going wrong. Like, you're like, oh, what if we landed in that or on that thing? Or that freeway or the fucking, because why are they always by freeways? People be skydiving always by freeways. Seems like maybe that's in California because they do it by the coast and shit.
I'm trying to think if like what like maybe just because of the runways, but that doesn't make sense because you are right. There are many that aren't that far away from the freeway. Maybe it's easier to spot that way. I don't know.
Or maybe it's because where they have the space to buy the fucking land to have a runway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know who got certified is Redman.
Oh yeah, no, I seen that.
I was like, he was hella excited about it. I was like, he seems cool as fuck, man. I
feel like you're too successful.
Oh yeah,
like, you're just bored. But anyway,
exactly.
So what do you
he was though.
What do you plan on doing with this book of poems? Like, is this just something more of like a timestamp in your life right now, or is this something like you want to or is this just something that like you perform and that someone who's actually a fan can actually hold something on to?
I guess it's a little bit of all of it. Like, I think it was just, part of it was like, well, I should have something, I should have some sort of representation of the work I've done here, like at least to share with friends and to share with anybody who sees me perform, and likes it. I could be like, well, I have a book of it if you want to fuck with it.
Yeah.
And just to like, I guess it's also a timestamp for sure. Like as I approach 40, I was like, maybe I'll put something to kind of have a demarcation of where I got to, and then if I'll always write more poems. If it comes down the road that I want to do another collection, maybe. But I'm thinking of it more just like it's like a culmination of like the shit I've been up to for the last 20 years, 20 plus years, like to say, well, this is where I'm at as a writer. And then like I can accompany that with like, and then here's the music I make. You can see how my writing goes with that shit too. Like it's just like I feel like I've come into this philosophy that like making like when I make something, it's made to share it. Like, and I've always felt that. Like that's just been why I make stuff. Like I know not everybody does. Like some people paint and they don't show nobody, and that's cool too. But like for me, it's always been like this is my form of communication because I wasn't the best communicator as a kid. I was socially awkward and super nervous and shit, and just high strung and uptight. This is how I learned to communicate. So when I make stuff, it's always like there is always some plan to share it. So it's like I think finally I'm allowing myself to be like, well, all these things that I've performed for so long that have existed in this like whatever sort of like ethereal audience performer sort of limbo or whatever, I can like put those down and be like, well, here they are, and now I can work on other shit. Like because so many of these poems, I've been performing for a while and they've lived with me for so long now they can like have their own place to stay and I can fucking make space. Because I hear a lot of people say that, like when they're like, yeah, making a project and finishing it helps me move on to the next thing. And I've never given myself that with poetry, at least. Like with music, I allow myself to like make a project, put it out however it is, however done I get it, put it out. But with poetry, I never really allowed myself that same sort of whatever it is, like a gesture or whatever.
Grace.
Yeah, to just be like, oh, here it is. This is what I do. Like,
oh, with poetry, you're saying like
I never allowed myself to present it. Like I do with my music. I put that shit online. I'm like, listen to me. It's here.
Yeah, I don't know the word, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I can't think of a good like.
But yeah, promote yourself as a poet.
I didn't give myself the same opportunity. You know what I mean?
Hey, I am Melchor, and I'm a poet.
To be and so now I got something to be like. See, I got a book. Proof, dog.
Yeah. So are you gonna carry yourself more like a poet now? Are you gonna like dress like Andre 3000? Like what?
Only if it comes with dating Erykah Badu.
Ooh.
On and on.
Wait. My world is feeling high. My money's gone. I'm all alone. 1, 2, 3. The world keep turning. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a day. Manifest manifested. Oh man, I thought you were gonna play. What are you gonna play for us today, bro?
I was just gonna play a little ditty. No, I got a song that I like to play. It's
so you're gonna play a Sean John song?
It's gonna be
you said a little ditty.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
Cover. No. It's a. Oh man, Sean Paul. I'm doing it.
Shut the ball. Gonna give it to. I'll get to. And the Wilson vinyl.
It's just me putting on.
Oh, bro. So did you not like my Nirvana vinyl that I played?
I like the Nirvana vinyl.
Okay, I didn't know because you're all saying like, bro, I don't listen to shit.
I do. No, and that's like the thing. I listen to some. I just not like I'm not a metalhead.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But like I listen to a lot of rock shit, and I mean, fuck, I grew up in the late '90s in high school. Like obviously, I listened to Korn and fucking System of a Down and Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Driving down the Rage Against the Machine and Tupac are like they are. I would like credit them with radicalizing my thinking. Like,
oh my god,
Rage Against the Machine.
So hard, bro.
Rage Against the Machine radicalized my thinking on all kinds of shit, political shit. But so did Tupac. Tupac was super political and hella outspokenly anti-police, anti-fucking, all the dirty shit the CIA had done.
Yeah.
So he was like openly, his family were Black Panthers and fucking his godfather was Geronimo Pratt and shit, like political prisoners. So like those two in the 90s, man, as like a young kid, like having Rage Against the Machine and Tupac, I was like, fuck the system.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Hella hard.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
and then Tupac was like, fuck the cops, and I was like, yes, fuck the cops.
But me, I was more with Tupac because he was giving me that thug passion, you know what I'm saying? I heard it's the bomb, and you got it going on. Give me some of that thug passion, baby.
Yep.
You got me tripping wet from the way you make me sweat. Give me some of your thug passion, baby.
I wonder if that was Michelle A. singing on that song. She was on death row. She was a singer back in the...
Yeah, she didn't get accredited until recently.
A lot of shit she didn't really get credit for. She just sang backup. Like she just sang hooks and shit and they never credited her.
What's that other one?
I mean, there's so many.
We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. It's checkout time.
Oh, checkout time, yeah. That's on the second disc of...
Yeah, but there's another one, though, of what... Oh.
I like the one with Method Man and Redman and Corrupt. Got my mind made up.
Yeah.
That one was that's my shit, dude, yeah.
I got my mind made up.
And a lot of those beats were fucking Devontae from Jodeci.
Yeah.
He was one of the dudes in Jodeci.
I didn't know.
With Casey and JoJo.
That's crazy.
He made a lot of those beats on All Eyes on Me. That's why he even says, like... He says something on one of the... What's that? Oh, I Came to Bring the Pain, that song. He's like, yo, Devontae. What I tell you when I get out of jail.
Okay.
And that's who he's talking to, the dude from Jodeci.
Damn, the nigga from Jodeci.
Yep.
And that's how they made this song. How do you want it?
Yeah. That's why they're... Exactly. That's why they're on there.
Pull up in a nigga in a trash can. I always say I always said nigga in a trash can.
That's not what they say?
No, it's a nigga in the cash can. For real.
For so long, I thought it was trash can too.
It's in the cash.
Like all of my youth, I thought, and then only until like the days of the internet and like Genius and shit, that I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it said trash can.
Yeah. No, coming up in the cash can. For real.
Yeah, I didn't find that shit out till like maybe like 2012 or some shit. Like I found that out. Like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Trash can sounds funnier though. I still say trash can though.
Coming up as a nigga in a trash can.
It's still good. All these years later.
So I say, what do you want to close us out? Leave us with? I think people got to know a little bit of you out here in the forefront, and maybe to check your shit out. And then we can have you play something on the guitar too.
Yeah,
I can put it in. I just add it in somewhere wherever it seems cool when I look back at it. But what's something you would want to leave people with?
Mostly that I would like to be your friend so bad.
Wow, that does not help this cause. Hey guys,
I want to be your friend so bad.
Do you have a significant other right now?
I do. I have a few.
Oh wow. Okay. Excuse me. Okay.
They're really great. They're very supportive.
Okay, PIMP. How's that work?
A lot of logistics.
You guys share each other, or are you selfish?
No. I mean, sometimes you're in like triads or something where everybody's involved with each other, but sometimes
everybody should be wearing condoms.
Yes, safe practices are essential to these kinds of things, and getting tested regularly is also a practice. Open and honest dialogue. A lot of fucking people need to utilize calendars and shit, and be like, okay, what day I got to do this? Okay, this day and this day. Yeah, it's just mostly.
What do you mean?
Mostly logistics, like planning. when you got multiple partners, you're like, oh, somebody wants to do something on this day, but then what? So I got to do this thing.
Okay.
Just planning.
I just thought you were more like getting prepared, like doing what? Like what do you have to do?
Nah. There's like I think people think it's a harder task than it is. I mean, you do whatever you got to do for whatever relationship you're in. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a good partner, no matter what the structure is, you're gonna like do what you got to do to show up and be there.
I feel it's so hard because I could barely keep one person happy.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not my job to keep anybody happy. Luckily,
very true.
Luckily, and it's not their job to keep me happy. So it's like
it should be your own fucking job.
It's your own fucking job. Make your own self.
You hear
happy.
that?
Make yourself
it's
happy.
It's your own fucking. Don't rely on me. I'm already fucking happy. I did my part.
I made it.
Now you're fucking up my part. I'm fucking mad. But you're unhappy ass.
So, I'm sad for you. And that's fucking up my happy shit.
No, I'm just
Nah, and one thing I will leave people with, like, don't take yourself hell seriously. Like, I think one thing I appreciate about being a performer, too, is, like, maybe it seems counterintuitive, but, like, it helps me not take myself seriously. Like, I do shit because I like to do it. I know I'm not a fucking straight dickhead. Like, I know I'm not just out there being mean to people for no reason. So I'm like, like you were saying earlier, I know who I am. And it's like, so I don't have to take myself out seriously. I don't have to worry about like, oh shit, how am I gonna...
Is that somewhat, could be, because I have a problem with that. Is that somewhat of a hindrance to our own self by not putting enough pressure on ourselves? Because you should be putting it to do better. You know?
Of course, yeah. Always. I mean, self-improvement is always, and I think that comes with when you're being creative, though. Like self-improvement should be a fucking intrinsic
that should be automatic.
Intrinsic part. Like how many people we see like get famous and they make the same kind of music for like 10 albums.
Test yourself. So you're already saying like that goes without saying.
That goes without saying.
Because you've already been so hard on yourself in other ways throughout this process.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, I know I work hard. I don't need no one else telling me I work hard. I just need to work what's best for me.
I just need to be honest, man. I think just being honest with yourself and like the shit you make and putting it out there. And I've been hella lucky to meet so many fucking cool ass people like along the ride. Like Stockton is full of hella cool creative people, and I've known so many of them and gotten to work with hell of them, and like just hell of our mutual friends and shit. I seen Matea on your thing. I know her through music and shit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I was with her yesterday.
Yeah. So I was like,
we ate motherfucking duck liver mousse.
Duck liver
mousse.
Like mousse. That's interesting. From a food truck?
No, fucking at the Wolf, a restaurant. Oh. Very fancy restaurant. I like fancy restaurants. The gay came out like that. He said, oh.
Fancy restaurant.
I did
Wine and dine.
Yeah. She wanted to dine me, nigga. Hey, we progressive out here, nigga.
They put the bill, you're all, oh, that's hers?
No.
That's hers.
I got treated. I don't want to put the business out there. I got treated. I don't want to put too much on what happened. Because now, bro, fuck, bro. I put myself on the spot, bro. We friends, bro. We out here being friends. But I had duck liver mousse, bro. And it was like the mousse. Like, that's the same thing. I just wanted to try it because I like trying the duck liver anyway, right?
That sounds
but I'm like,
crazy
fuck
on
it. But I'm like, let's just fucking, I want to try it. And then I'm like, damn, this shit really came out like mousse, like a chocolate, like you put on the fucking cake, right? But then
that's crazy.
But they give you these little balls of biscuits, like balls. Not a regular biscuit, but you can tell once you open it, you're like, oh, this is a biscuit, but they shaped it different and it's little, right? But then they put, instead of, it's like a jam, it's supposed to be a jam, but instead of it like really being like jelly oriented, it's just really just fruit mashed up, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like blackberries, like mashed up, right? Bro. And then they put some type of cheese or something on the sprinkle of the mousse, right? You put some of that duck liver mousse on there with a little bit of that jam. That shit was some of the best shit I've ever in my life.
Really? Damn.
I was just like, what the fuck? I'm like, this shit blew my mind, nigga. I'm like, nigga.
This exists?
Duck liver mousse.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even know you can fucking put that shit into mousse.
No idea. I had no idea. I've had duck a couple times, just duck meat.
Yeah.
But I didn't think.
That's crazy.
My wildest dreams.
You can make that shit. Yeah, it was duck like dessert, but it wasn't. That shit was fire. Bro.
That's like the shit they've been making on like MasterChef.
Yeah. Yeah,
some shit, you're like,
and I
what?
ate that shit.
Something reduction? You're like, oh, blackberry reduction. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Sound like some shit out of my tax bracket. But it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Duck.
But how do we get to Matea? Because you said mutual people.
I just seen her.
But like, why did you bring that?
Like, because I know her through music and shit. Like,
no, don't. You're going specifically on Matea. I'm saying, why you say mutual friends? Why did you say that?
Oh, I was just saying, like, because I've got to meet so many cool people, and a lot of them are mutuals between us. And just, like I said, Stockton's full of cool-ass people, and I fucking...
you were talking about that.
Worked alongside them and shit, and, like, I hosted events for a long time, and ran poetry events, and put on concerts, and shit, just for...
I would definitely give you credit, too, on that, like, man, bro, like, being able to meet so many people that I never thought I'd meet, and becoming part of, like, this... scene or family, you would say. I mean, because it is somewhat like that, because there's a lot of the same people, and like this person knows that person, you know what I mean? So it is very intriguing to be recognized as such as well, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what people feel about their art and what they feel personally, like, I mean, if you're working with these people and talking to these people, like, yo, you got to realize at least there's a few other people that look at you the same way. You know what I mean? Like, there's days I wake up, I don't feel like a rapper or a podcaster or whatever, but then I go to Trader Joe's and someone reminds me that's what I am. You know? Yeah,
and those are different facets of our personality. I think sometimes we like you said, how like, you know, being a post, saying you're this or saying you're that. Sometimes it's a challenge because you're just like, damn, but if I was this, wouldn't I be this and this? But it's like, that's expectation and shit, and that's like comparing yourself to what other people are doing instead of just doing what you're doing. And I think that's what I've appreciated about Stockton and the scenes, and being in different scenes since I was a teenager to now I'm almost 40, and seeing like younger people come up and continue the shit that, you know, me and my friends continued from the people before us. Like, Stockton's always had a pretty healthy music like a music scene, even in generations before mine. So it's like coming into that and seeing, you know, people promoting and shit. Like, shout out to fucking Mida Goodwin, who like ran shit in Stockton for hella long, like when I was a teenager. Just giving people space to perform and shit, and like learning from people like that it wasn't about like how big you were going. It was about like building community between people who knew each other, and just like strengthening that by opening yourself up to the people around you and shit, and like, again, not taking it hella seriously, like, oh, I gotta get signed, I gotta fucking be a pro skater, you know. It was the same. I started enjoying all the shit I do way more when I stopped worrying about where it was gonna take me, or where it could take me. You know, like, started enjoying skateboarding way more when I stopped worrying about like, oh, am I gonna get sponsored?
Because it's gonna do that no matter what.
And it's just, and then you just realize, oh, I'm just doing this to enjoy it, because whether I got sponsored or whether I got famous, like whatever I did, like no matter how big I got on whatever, like I'm gonna die. Like, that shit ain't gonna change. Like, no matter how famous I got, I'm still gonna be dead one day. So, like, the goal ain't to be famous. The goal is just to enjoy what you fucking do. And, like, I'm leaning into that the last few years, like, just trying to remember how much enjoyment I just get from performing and meeting people and making shit and hearing what other people make. I love fucking playing shows with people because I get to hear their music and shit, and get to see what their mind is like and shit. Like, there's nothing more interesting to me than finding out what somebody's like internal thoughts are like. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get to experience other people's internal thoughts just like on the reg. Like, I can't just look at somebody and hear their thoughts and shit. I gotta take it from what they tell me and how they, you know, what they put in their songs or what they put in their fucking raps and shit. And like, then I get to see what they're like. So leave people with that. Just keep making shit, because there's people like me who this is like the whole process of making and sharing and hearing other people's shit. That's like the only thing that matters to me. Like, that's like the main shit. Like, to me, that's what life's about. Like, hearing other people fucking share their shit and being able to share my shit, and people listen and they're like, oh, that was cool. And then I could tell them like, hey, your shit was cool. We fucking smoke a J. Some, you know what I mean? Like, just chill. Then be dead one day. And then be dead one day, and that's, you know, fuck it.
Hey, well, on that note,
Operation. Hold on, let me show you. I have an entry point at the wrist and another near my collarbone. The situation typically determines which route is easier. Once it's open, you can see it fully. I know moments and where to find them. I can show you not only what the trauma affected, but the layers of survival tissues around the areas. They are stronger here. I even know a path that leads to sound struggles and breath proximity, sleeping patterns. Most of it is available. I'm ready to show you these things. I want to help us make sense. I'm also confident that my awareness of these fixes will help you understand me, understand you, and invite reciprocity. It's easier this way, to get it over quick. A foundation to build upon, just a quick pull to begin. That's the first one.
Hello. Quick note about the stuff I'm going to read. I've been working on this style called California Gothic, which is like American Gothic, but California style. And all of these strains in here were grown in Oakland, but I did grow up in Stockton, 20 years. I've been out in Oakland for 12 years. So there's going to be a lot of like references to Bay Area shit. You're going to get them anyway because everyone was around during the hyphy movement and shit. All right, so it's time. This poem's called Shrunk. I threw a crumb of Wonder Bread at a pigeon, but he was pretentious, and he kicked it back at me. I felt like I had a point to prove, so I frowned, picked it up, and ate it. Immediately I shrunk to the size of a penny, and the pigeon snickered and flew away toward a chic French bakery. Stuck in a maze of grass blades, I decided to try and walk back to my house. As soon as I hit the street, a silverfish and a beamer pulled up and tried to sell me jewelry. I'm sorry, all my money is too big. Plus, I've never lived in a place where I feel comfortable wearing flashy accessories. He twisted his mustache. Where have you lived? I considered lying. Stockton and Oakland. He grimaced as if I had just thrown up in the gutter and peeled out. By the time I made it to the end of the block, it was nighttime. A group of snails were throwing a sideshow, doing donuts at 0.0000001 miles per hour, leaving circles of slime over an excruciatingly long period of time. I decided what the hell and ghost rode a slug, though it was more like jumping on and off in slow motion. Finally, I spotted a piece of the Wonder Bread mixed into car-sized chunks of window glass. I considered staying small, and then I remembered all of my belongings were too big to handle.
She was definitely one of my very, very first friends who I shared poetry with. So that to me has always been huge to have maintained a friendship after kind of like bonding over that too for so many years. And she's still a very dear friend. We hang out all the time, as much as we can, living in different cities. So I want to give a round of applause for my friend Naima.
Thank you. So I have a super short one, and then I have a longer one that I forgot I wrote. I cried when I wrote it. It was an activity, and I think that prompts are a great way to create something special. If anybody ever thinks, I don't know how to write, use a prompt and own it, and it's yours, even though it's a prompt. Like, they're great. Most things are not brand new. They're built off something else. So I'm gonna read the short one first, because it's short, and then I'm gonna go into the longer one, because Mel always writes long poems, and I'm jealous, because mine are usually short. So I'm gonna read my long one. Okay, the short one is called A Tangent. California street in a line, rushing pretty straight with a wiggle, waves with hills. The one I took juts out against the other cities, a thumb, an unfolded finger in the middle. After it was a fist, a nose. That's San Francisco.
So here's that poem about me and everybody else. Called Building a Canvas things. I also worked at a frame store, which is interesting. Yeah, my brother worked at a frame store. Our cousin Nisi owns a frame store. Building a canvas. I've made frames before, for work, for awkward dashes of the eyes, out of hair strands and paper shreds. I've constructed context. I've built things before, stories and strategies, messes and motivation. Not all structurally sound, but they made beautiful sequences while crashing. Masterpieces of shattered glass, see-through senses of security, simple outlines broken down to so many small cuts on your knuckles, nicks on your fists, like constellations against the empty space of your hands. I've held things together. I've let things go. Correction, I've dropped things. And this has always been me trying to pick them back up, trying to piece myself out of apathetic architect and into collected carpenter, trying to sweep up this doomed draftsman and make something viable from near broken bones. It's pins and mat board and half-assed binding, and it isn't strong enough. It's proof in landslide and dingy landscape. It's me, stretched and stapled, ready for a makeover. They hold my back for stretch and staple. They lie me down for stretch and staple. They make supports of my spine and skin, and I promise this stretched and stapled blueprint is sheet music for my demolition, and I will make it sing. I'll paint a throat with all the colors of heart. Nail our palms together. It'll be riveting. I'll fill in our scars with long sleeves and bad dreams. Paint over everything with a new hue each week. Solid, but underneath, still lives of our sleeplessness. So many wear their chaos beautifully. I'm sorry I hide mine under layers of dated fashion. I've been high-strung since the 80s. I'm sorry for taking up space on the wall. I'm sorry we're all on display. I'm sorry, but hey there, pretty picture. What's your hang up? Thanks.